Most people don't know how many financial accounts they have or their net worth. And when you're not paying attention, you're leaving money on the table. The solution is Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or phone. In just minutes, link all your accounts for a complete picture of your financial health. You'll never need a spreadsheet again. Get 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code CONTROL. That's monarch.com, promo code CONTROL.
Welcome to Growing Your Team, a podcast designed for small business owners seeking to grow their company with the help of employees and contractors. Your time is limited, which means growing and leveraging teams is essential for business success. The Growing Your Team podcast is the place to learn tips and techniques designed to help you know when it's the right time to hire, how to select perfect fit team members, and how to maximize productivity while creating a positive work environment. Drawing from her 10-plus years of leadership and hiring experience, here is your host, Jamie Van Kuyk.
Hello, Jamie Van Kuyk here, and welcome back to the Growing Your Team podcast. Today, I want to talk about dependable employees. I'm sure when I say that, you're like, heck yes, I want dependable employees. I don't want to pay for anyone who is not dependable. But I think this is something we really need to talk about, of really what makes an employee dependable, because I think we got the definition all wrong. And I actually think the way most of us view dependable is actually creating toxic work environments. And I want to tell you how to make things better, because when you have an environment that is good for the employee and good for you, it creates those long-term relationships that make everybody happy, that make you happy to pay your team members and make team members want to work for you and do good work for you. Because if they're not happy, they're really not going to be doing great work. They might be checking the box, but they possibly could be giving you more. And if you're not happy, why pay them? So let's talk about what it really means to be a dependable worker and what has led me to this conclusion that we have the definition all wrong. So a lot of my clients, when we go through what skill sets, qualities, characteristics make up your ideal team member, a dependable worker is one of the things that they list. Typically, one of the first things that they list. And normally when business owners list this, it's because they had employees in the past that they said they weren't dependable. They may be called out sick all the time. They quit without notice. They didn't do their work. So they're like, I'm tired of that. I want someone who is dependable. And I'm sure we could all say, yeah, that's completely understandable. Why pay someone that's not dependable? We want dependable workers. And because of this, there's a question we add a lot of times to our interview guides that ask team members, ask candidates what being dependable at work means to them. Now, when we ask this question, we often ask follow-up questions to look for examples, to dig a little bit deeper. But recently, I would say the answers to this first question are actually making me question everything. And it makes me not surprised that we have people that are leaving the workforce in droves, that are trying to find new opportunities, because I feel like our definition of dependable is turning things into a toxic work environment. And let me tell you what I mean here. One of the most common things I hear when I ask people what it means to be dependable, they talk about never missing work and showing up on time every day, not being a minute late, not calling out sick, not taking a lot of vacation time every year. And people might be listening to this and you might be nodding your head like, yeah, that all sounds like a dependable worker. You want people who are going to work. You want people showing up when they're supposed to be working. So it all sounds good, right? But it's not okay. It is not okay the way they have defined dependable at work. Being dependable is partially to do with someone being there and showing up to do the job. It also has to do with that trust factor and you depending on the fact that they can do the job well. It doesn't matter that someone shows up to work if they can't do the job well. If they don't do the tasks well while they're there, then who cares that they're there? So being dependable also includes meeting deadlines and other stuff that make them so they are a valued team member. And just punching the clock is not the only marker of a valued team member. The other thing that makes me cringe every time I hear answers that talk about never taking sick time, never taking vacation days unless it's absolutely necessary is that is not sustainable. We all need breaks. And when candidates tell me that they haven't taken a sick day in 10 years, do you want to know what that makes me think? One, either they're lying to put on a good face, but I don't actually think that's the case in most situations. It's that people are prioritizing work ahead of their own health. That they are working for bosses who don't care about them as people, that only care about them showing up to work. And yes, you might work in an industry where if someone all of a sudden calls out sick, it creates headaches. We've all been there. We've all done that. We've all had to pick up the slack. And sometimes there's nobody to pick up the slack when a team member calls out. But we shouldn't make people be afraid of taking care of themselves. I highly doubt these people that tell me they haven't had a sick day in 10 years have not been sick in those 10 years. It means they're coming into work sick, where they're more likely to spread their illnesses and germs to somebody else. It means that maybe they're making it so they're under the weather longer because they're not given the opportunity to rest and care for themselves. It sometimes means they're not taking the time to mentally refresh. Yes, we need time to really think about like our bodies when it comes to being under the weather, but we also need to think about our minds as well. And sometimes people just need mental health days to refresh, to recoup and rest and get back up to they can be 100% of what their natural performance level is. People can't do this if they don't take breaks from work. And sometimes it needs to be sick days because someone is legitimately sick. We should not punish good employees because they have to take a sick day every once in a while. Now, once again, I am not talking about the team member that calls out sick all the time. But there is a big difference between the team member that calls out sick all the time and the great dependable worker that needs a sick day every once in a while. Or the parent that needs to take a sick day to take care of their child. Those people can still be dependable. And also this thing that they think that being dependable also means not taking your vacation time. I know once again, like people like cheer like, oh, I didn't have to pay out vacation and my employees were there so I didn't have to worry about backups or paying overtime for other employees to cover them or anything like that. But we don't give people vacation time because it's a nice thing to do. You give your employees vacation time because people need time to recoup. People need time to live their life outside of work. So when employees aren't taking vacation, that's not a sign that they are a dependable worker. It's maybe a sign that they're a worker who will work at subpar levels because they don't know how to take care of themselves. And you need to know what you are looking for when you want a dependable worker. Because if you're only looking for the person who will never take their vacation time, who will never call out sick, who will show up 100% of the time on time and not leave a second before they're supposed to be clocking out, then you're not really looking for a dependable worker. You're looking for someone who is controlled by the clock and who can be controlled by your clock, your definition of when they should be working, because you don't care about them as a person and you only care about the output that they produce for you. But guess what? As I talked about, the output they produce for you is going to be lower if they never take time for themselves. So the dependable worker that you really want is the person that can achieve deadlines, the person who can provide outstanding customer service 100% of the time, or, okay, 100% of the time is not realistic. So let's say 99% of the time to your clients. The person who is going to do their work without having to be micromanaged. The person who is going to be that amazing worker. And being dependable also means that they know how to take care of themselves. And you being a good employer, a dependable employer that these team members can count on to support them, means that you allow your employees to be people outside of your office, outside of your place of business, that you understand that they can be dependable and still take the occasional sick day. They can be dependable and still take the vacation time that you allow them to have in your benefit terms, because benefits on paper mean nothing if you're not allowing your employees to actually use those benefits. You don't want things just for show. And if you're putting things just for show, remove them completely. Right? So you want dependable employees. Make sure you are defining being dependable correctly. And then make sure you're the employer that allows your team members to be dependable, that allows them to take care of themselves. Because when they're able to take care of themselves and take that time that they need and not feel like they're hurting you and hurting the business because they need to take a sick day, or they need to take a vacation day, or they need to take a whole vacation week because they need time to refresh and explore things, whether it's locally or going on a trip. You want good team members. So define what it truly means to be dependable in the job and then look for that team member. And if your only definition of being dependable is showing up on time and never taking time off of work, you need to reevaluate whether your business actually cares for your employees or is just a clock watcher who is going to get mad whenever an employee doesn't show up for work at all or doesn't show up for work on time. Because if you are the latter, you are more likely to have employees leave because they're not going to stand for that long. We are in now a generation where people want to know that the businesses they are working for care about them. The older generations might put up with people clock watching them and putting in these rules in place and making them feel uncomfortable about taking time for themselves. But the younger generations care about their own health and well-being more than they care about the job. So if you want them to care about your company, you need to show that you care about their health and well-being. It's a two-way street. You want good employees, you need to treat your employees well. So once again, when you want dependable employees, really define what dependable means in that role. What does it mean to be dependable and achieve the results that you need achieved in that role? And your definition of dependable, if you want long-lasting employees, needs to be more than someone showing up to work on time and not taking time off, because life happens. Work is a part of life. It's not your employee's entire life. So treat your employees with respect, care about who they are in the bigger picture, and they'll be more likely to stay a part of your team and produce outstanding work while they are there. Are you ready to hire a new team member for your business and you want to ensure you hire the person who can succeed in the role, make you happy, and positively impact your bottom line? Then set up time and let's talk, because this is exactly how I help business owners like you. When you go through my hire framework, not only will you learn how to attract candidates who have the passion you desire, but you'll be able to identify and select candidates who have the skills you need and can succeed in the role. Going through this consulting process not only helps you find the right new hire for your current open position, but it teaches you how to repeat this process with every new position you add to your company as it continues to grow. So if you're a small business owner who is ready to hire, has a rough idea of the position you need to add, and you're tired of going through the hiring process only to end up with bad fitting team members, then let's talk. Send me an email at jamie@growingyourteam.com. That's Jamie, Jamie, @growingyourteam.com, or head on over to growingyourteam.com/jumpstart and let's talk about your hiring needs.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Growing Your Team with your host, Jamie Van Kuyk. Be sure to subscribe and head on over to growingyourteam.com to connect, access the show notes, and discover more ways to hire and leverage your perfect fit team.